Everybody, it's the Mad Master here, and right now I'm going to do a video that's a little bit different than the usual ones I've been doing about politics and so forth. Do a little bit of pop culture here. Probably going to make those more prominent on my channel as time goes on, depending on what happens, of course. I seem to have, it's kind of like what Henry Rollins said in the 90s, like he has this angst that he wanted to release in music, and as soon as it was gone, he would retire from music. He followed up on his promise, didn't he? You know, that's one thing that I actually respect about Henry Rollins. Say what you will about him, is he followed up. He followed through. He's like, I'm going to retire from music once I get all this angst that I have from a childhood thing. So I have all this political angst that once it is released, maybe I'll stop doing less of it, or it'll never be fully released. So, you know, whatever. So this video is about Star Wars. I was into Star Wars as a kid. You could probably see my Darth Vader carrying case in the back of this video right now. I was really into it, obsessed with it. You know, I thought first I was into Star Wars, and then I was into Transformers as a kid, and really into Luke Skywalker, particularly in Return of the Jedi, especially because I just thought he was a badass, but like good, you know. In that one, because I liked a little bit of the evil. He was sort of going a little dark side, but not completely. Just a little bit of an edge more than the previous two films. In fact, I own the replica lightsaber of Return of the Jedi of Luke Skywalker. But I never thought I'd be doing. I did another Star Wars video. I never thought I'd be doing so many because you know, it's like this love-hate thing with me in Star Wars. It's like old Metallica. Like you know, I love the first four Metallica. Fifth one's nowadays I don't like it as much. Like the production, but I don't know about the other stuff about it. But like it's like people mention Metallica. Oh, you like Metallica? You're into metal. It's like, yeah, I like old Metallica. You know, what do you say? I like old Star Wars, or you know, I don't like the corporatization of Star Wars. It was pretty much from the beginning, you know, like stuff like that. You know, I'd rather watch 2001 or something sometimes, you know, but I still love I still love the original trilogy. And I have the VHS original trilogy without the revisions that were done. So it's been a part of my life since I was a little kid. You know, I saw, dare I say, a couple of the originals in the theaters. That's how old I am. Or maybe one, at least one. I'll just say that. I was very little, but you know, nevertheless, I was just a glimmer in my parents' eyes. No, I wasn't. I was actually born. So, but recently there's been a lot of controversy over these prequel or the sequels, and now people have this historical revisionism of the prequels, which I think is really ridiculous. You know, there's an analogy between the revisionism about the Star Wars prequels and the whole George W. Bush like revisionism that is happening. It's like, oh, Bush wasn't that bad. The prequels weren't that bad. You know, it's a bunch of fucking nonsense bullshit. The only prequel worth a shit was Revenge of the Sith, and even that wasn't perfect. And you know, there was some good parts of the movies, but bullshit. You know. George Bush was a terrible president. He was worse than Trump, dare I say, because he killed far more people with Iraq and destroyed a region, you know, and set bad precedents that were even worse than Trump ever did, and more authoritarian. Regardless of what bad shit Trump did, it was pretty bad, but, you know. So, and the Star Wars prequel sucked. I'm sorry. Sorry, Ellen DeGeneres, you know, or whoever the fuck likes both of them. They're fucking full of shit. So anyways, the new Mandalorian series came out last year, and I didn't watch it. My ex-girlfriend was gonna watch it with me, but then we broke up. Or nevertheless, she actually had some type of access to Disney Plus for some reason. I can't remember what the deal was. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll watch that eventually. And I thought the Baby Yoda shit was a little too overhyped. And then finally, a couple days ago, I'm just like, I took the dive and, you know, fully supported this horrible corporation, Disney. It's only $7 a month. already have Netflix, and I don't want to really do it forever. I'm probably going to cancel it eventually, but because I don't support these big corporations, even though I am financially. But I was like, I was going to see what was all about, all the hype, because I'd heard about it, and I was like, oh, it's got to be better than the prequels and sequels. And all the other horse shits that's come out, midichlorians and all that fucking bullshit. The Force, just the midichlorians thing really bothers me the most of anything Star Wars in the last 25 years. Because growing up, and that's one good thing about Ryan Johnson had at the end of Last Jedi, was that he did talk about how anyone has access to the Force if they really, whatever, have, people are more Force sensitive, but at the same time, it's like, the Force is out there. Why would you not have access to it just because you don't have these fucking midi-chlorians or whatever the fuck? I liked how Ryan Johnson actually kind of fucked with that a little bit, that part of it. So, say what you will. Oh, you like Red Last Jedi? Ugh. Last Jedi was probably the most in a way, some ways, it was more tolerable than the first and the last one. They all sucked, but it had, at least it fucked with things enough to be memorable. But anyways, they've all sucked since. My theory is that Star Wars has sucked since Shadows of the Empire. Was that that was like the last pure, not pure, it wasn't pure by any means, but pure Star Wars product come out. There have been some good novels since then too, but that was the last pure Star Wars product to come out, because that was still informed by the old mythology and science of the original Star Wars, which Lucas ruined himself, and then Kathleen Kennedy, his friend, ruined later. We're in the precipice of a new age of Star Wars, it seems like. And so that starts with The Mandalorian, which I finally watched. I think I'm on episode 4 or 5. And here are my thoughts, finally, after 7 minutes. Jesus Christ. I thought that it was pretty damn good. I haven't finished the first season yet, but it's entertaining, It has a Western feel. It doesn't have, like, the special effects and the jizz-laden bullshit, just call it jizz, just like waste, just fucking jizzing, it's pissing all over, piss-laden special effects, CGI bullshit shit. I don't know what I'm saying in this video, but it's not like the fucking, I'm getting really vulgar. I'm not gonna redo this video. I don't care. It's not, just the bullshit of the last few years of these movies. The narratives are terrible. It's just confusing, convoluted scripts and storylines that don't resolve themselves. Bad acting, which has always been a hallmark of Star Wars. Be honest. Let's just be honest. Like, what was that? What was that part in Return of the Jedi with Carrie Fisher? Like, I don't remember. There was some stilted dialogue of some of those movies just from any of the actors, except for Harrison Ford. Well, Luke, be fair, Mark Hamill is a great voice actor, and he's been since before Star Wars. Actually, he did stuff before Star Wars, but these weren't like Oscar-winning actors, other than Harrison Ford, who has been in some Oscar. I mean, all those award shows are bullshit. Let's just face it. But as far as like on that caliber, it was never, at least the acting in the Star Wars movies. Carrie Fisher's been some good stuff too, and there's been some good stuff with all of them. But the acting in Star Wars has not been. They're not dynamite acting. It's not known for dynamite acting or fucking the greatest thing. But that said, there's a purity, there's a essence that are in the original Star Wars, which definitely The Mandalorian reflects. Just this simple narrative, just this pure, flowing, almost Zen narrative in it that is a lot more entertaining. The only bad part of those first few episodes I watched was when all the Mandalorians came to save him from the from Apollo Creed. Forgot the character's name. This is one other thing is I always thought Carl Weathers should be in more stuff. Like I saw I saw Rocky 3 the first time. I'm late to a lot of movies. Rocky 3 the first time, the Rocky series the first time, at least the first three, like several years ago, like 2016 or something like that. Well, it's more than several years ago now, but um, I was really taken in by Carl Weathers in Rocky 3. It's my favorite of the Rockies because of that. I was like, yeah, he's been in Predator. He should be in more stuff. Even now, they should put him in more stuff. Put him in The Mandalorian. It's awesome. But yeah, that was part of it that I thought was really cheesy with the Mandalorians coming down and shit. Um, Other than that, though, like it's pretty good. You know, people complain about the Carbonite or holds or whatever of the prisoners. I don't know. I liked that part. I don't give a shit. I liked a lot of that stuff. Yeah, maybe they weren't doing it in Boba Fett's time, but 5 years later they're doing the Carbonite thing more or something. They decided it was a good idea to adopt that trend that Boba Fett did, you know, or something like that. You can say that if you know what I'm talking about. Um, but yeah, it's great. Great acting, great scripts aren't like the most complicated, but that's what makes it good. God forbid simplicity nowadays. You know, movies used to be an hour and a half, and they used to be able to stuff a lot of stuff, you know, a lot in there, but not just like stuff that got confusing. And it's like I didn't realize this about movies, but like a lot of them are like 3 or 4 hours long now, and that come out all these blockbusters, and they're just shit. And why are they shit? And I thought about it, like I'm the kind of guy that likes a lot of complicated narratives and story building and stuff, and complicated music like prog metal and stuff. So like what? Okay, well, why wouldn't I like some of these blockbusters that are coming out? Because they're using a lot of, they're putting a lot in there, but it's all shitty. It's not like you know, it's not like they're putting in these ideas or narratives that actually make sense or resolve themselves either. So Mandalorian, I recommend watching if you haven't seen it already. Probably the best Star Wars product to come out since Shadows of the Empire, at least. A lot of bad stuff has come out since then. I don't care what people say. The prequels will never be redeemed in my eyes. I think they're just shitty children's movies that have the Star Wars stamp on them. Other than Revenge of the Sith, which is synth. Revenge of the Sith. It sounds like a synthwave project. I think it is. Revenge of the Sith. Sith. That has some good elements to it, but it's not perfect. I thought the acting was better. They tried. He tried. I think Steven Spielberg actually ghost directed a couple scenes in that. That's what I've heard. Oh yeah, Mandalorian. It's fun. It's adventurous. It's dark, but not dark in like a brooding, you know, apocalyptic sense. Not in like a Man of Steel, Zack Snyder sense. It's just more like, you know, Empire Strikes Back dark, but that's why it's good. It's a good entertaining thing to watch. I especially like I just like the acting and the flow of the narrative, and it's fun, and it's just like you want to watch the next episode, and they're all kind of self-contained at the same time. It's like an old Western. It's exactly what George Lucas would have wanted back in the 70s as a series like this. Either way, there was that Star Wars Underworld, which I read about for years with Ronald D. Moore. Was it? And Ronald D. Moore, and he that got squashed when Disney bought Lucasfilm, but that sounded a lot like what they were trying to do with this, a little bit like the underworld of Star Wars, a darker take on Star Wars. So I am a fan. We'll watch both seasons, and I heard about a surprise appearance that kind of is a comeuppance at the recent developments in Star Wars at the end of season 2, which I'm excited and eagerly awaiting. And that's all.